Will India be shaken by Trump's tariff war? America is pushing the world into a Great Depression. A president who, in his obsession with putting America first, has pushed the entire world to the back of the line. A leader whose every single policy has jolted the global markets, and now the situation has deteriorated to such an extent that the signs of a global depression are clearly visible. But the biggest question is, while regions like the US, China, Europe, and the Middle East are already caught in the grip of this economic tsunami, will India be able to shield itself from this storm? Or is it just a matter of time before India too falls victim to this global recession? Today, we will delve deep into this topic. But before that, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you get all our latest video updates first. So let's begin today's discussion without any further delay. Donald Trump's second term has completely overturned America's traditional policies. Sometimes it's a trade war, sometimes tariffs, and sometimes impulsive war-driven decisions. The world is continuously getting trapped in a whirlpool of instability. The impact of these global-level policies is so deep that not only have the economies of smaller nations started to stumble, but even developed countries are beginning to break under pressure. And now that Trump has jumped into the Iran-Israel conflict as well, the situation has become even more terrifying. Trump's America First policy has thrown global trade into a deep crisis. Especially his strategy of using tariffs as a weapon has directly affected the economies of many countries. He has imposed heavy tariffs on major trade partners like China, Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. In response, these countries have also slapped retaliatory tariffs on the US. The result is a severe disruption in the flow of global trade. Importing and exporting has become extremely expensive for companies, and supply chains are in complete disarray. The next consequence of this trade confrontation is economic uncertainty. When the two largest economic powerhouses of the world clash, uncertainty in other countries is inevitable. Investors are fearful, companies are confused, and the overall business environment has turned negative. New investments have stalled, and existing ones are moving at a slower pace. Several multinational companies have started rethinking their production strategies. Some have decided to move their manufacturing units out of China, but these are only temporary relief measures. A permanent solution is nowhere in sight at the moment. The impact of tariffs is not limited to just companies and governments. It directly affects the common people. When companies face increased costs, they pass them on by raising product prices. This means that the common man now has to buy the same goods at higher prices. As a result, inflation rises, purchasing power decreases, and economic imbalance deepens. From food items to electronics, automobiles, and technology, every sector is affected. Amid all these economic complexities, the most alarming concern is the decline in the global economic growth rate. Institutions like the IMF, World Bank, and OECD have repeatedly revised their global GDP growth forecasts downward. This is the first time that both developing and developed countries are struggling economically at the same time. And the main reason behind this is the growing trend of trade wars and protectionism. Donald Trump's policies are accelerating the process of deglobalization. While the world was previously moving toward mutual cooperation and global trade, countries are now turning inward, toward self-reliance and protectionist policies. This is breaking global supply chains, slowing down innovation, and reducing choices for consumers. Trump's policies are being compared to one of the darkest economic periods in history. The 𝐮𝐸𝐻𝐿 Tariff Act of 1930 is often blamed for deepening the Great Depression of 1929. During that era, tariffs severely disrupted global trade, worsening the economic crisis. Today's situation may not be identical, But experts believe that if trade wars continue unchecked, we could be standing at the threshold of a new global recession. Now the question arises, where does India stand amidst all this turmoil? India, which has become the world's fifth largest economy, can it protect itself from this crisis? The truth is, India has not remained untouched by this global upheaval either. The US has also imposed certain tariffs on India, which has created difficulties for Indian exporters, particularly in the textile, steel, and pharmaceutical sectors, all of which have been directly impacted. A greater concern for India emerged when the US intervened in the Iran-Israel conflict. This had an immediate effect on global oil prices. The Iranian parliament approved a proposal to close the Strait of Hormuz, which has put global oil supply at serious risk. Nearly 20% of the world's crude oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. And for India, which meets over 80% of its oil needs through imports, this has triggered shockwaves as it braces for a spike in fuel prices. The direct impact of rising petrol and diesel prices falls on the common people of India. Transportation becomes more expensive, which in turn increases the cost of all goods. This cycle of inflation gradually weakens the economy. Economic indicators like interest rates, fiscal deficit, and inflation begin moving in a negative direction. At a time when India needs a high growth rate, such global shocks can slow down its momentum. India's foreign policy has always been balanced. But when the US itself is spreading global instability through its own policies, India faces a dual challenge: on one hand, protecting its national interests, and on the other, resisting American pressure. Due to US sanctions on Iran, India had to reduce oil imports from there, weakening its energy security. And now, with the onset of war, both India's diplomacy and economic policy are being put to the test. Meanwhile, India must remain vigilant on its domestic front as well. When the entire world is grappling with instability, any policy misstep could push India deeper into the quicksand of a global recession. The government must take carefully calculated steps regarding its fiscal policy, tax structure, and public spending. At the same time, relief must be provided to MSME and domestic industries to shield them from the effects of the global crisis. Trump's policies may make America appear powerful today, but their real impact is being felt across the world. And this impact is no longer limited to numbers. It is directly affecting people's jobs, standard of living, and future prospects. For a developing country like India, this is not just an economic moment but one of strategic importance as well. If the right decisions are taken in time, India can turn this global crisis into an opportunity. But if there is a lapse in judgment, this tsunami could shake the very foundation of India's progress.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources: news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.